Well, hello there, good people. Hi, I'm Jason with Green Country Agroforestry. I'm here on the back side of the house, having my morning coffee, wearing a sweatshirt because it's chilly out this morning. It's right at the end of May. June's about to start. And the last time I looked at the thermometer, it was 60 degrees. It was in the 50s earlier this morning. I'll probably be able to take off the I'll probably be able to take off the sweatshirt here in a little bit. But while I'm standing here sipping my coffee, getting ready to go around and pick up my breakfast, I want you to look behind me. Up there at the eaves of the house, we got a little bird's nest up there. That one's a cardinal, red birds. Uh, so probably here in the near future, in addition to the rooster crowing next to my window to wake me up in the morning, we'll have the little cheep of hungry little birds too. Oh well, it'll wake me up. Let's go take a look and see what we're having for breakfast. Get some coffee. Here's my plug trays, my little seedling starts for the new little garden area. Of course, with the soba buckwheat in the back, a couple of flax. Not many of those came up there. That one green spot right there is not flax. That's a sweet basil. I don't know why it came up there. Now this tray here, right here, that one's alfalfa. That one over there, that one is Borage, or the broad green ones, and we've got some amaranth on the back side of that. And then down here at the very end, see that one there is all clover, little clumps of clover. It's about time for me to give those their morning mist, so let's do that real quick. Canna lily, more strawberries. Of course, in the background, I got my onions, got the violets. Violets are just starting to take off now. Of course, as it gets hot, they'll die back, but they'll come back again next year, good and strong. Probably wait 2 years before I start eating on those. I think about 2 years for the violets to spread. Kind of like asparagus, give them a couple of years, let them get thick, and then those are your early spring salad greens right there. All right, wintergreen is not taking off fast, but it's not dying either, so that's good. That's not breakfast. Wait a minute. What's that down there? What's that? Do you see it? I see it. Do you see it? That is that's strawberry. Okay, that might be breakfast. Actually, you know what? See that little fresh onion coming off of the big one down there? That'll be in breakfast. That's breakfast. There's a blueberry bush right there. Oh, and at the top with some blueberries, but they're not ripe yet, so that's not breakfast. Oh, there's another one of those onions that needs to be. You want to be part of my dinner, right? All right, so there's some breakfast. Brandywine, red brandywine tomato plant, looking healthy. Lots of flowers on you, but no tomatoes yet. That's not breakfast. Black pussy willow plant, getting nice and bushy. Yep. I think take some cuttings from this and get some more started, or wait until next year. Yeah, I might wait until next year. Of course, more canna lilies, got more strawberries here, another brandywine, more violets, some daylilies in the background, more onions. But yeah, but that's not breakfast today. Let's look. All right, so we're under the tree, under the pecan tree. Of course, it's a little early in the year for pecans, so we're not having pecans for breakfast. I mean, we could if I had any saved up that I hadn't planted to get new trees started out. But, all right, that's weeds. Oh, some of this is wheatgrass, by the way. It's in here. I see some sunflowers trying to start themselves. Turmeric root, but that's not breakfast. That's not breakfast. All right. Hey, there we got, at the base of the country, I got two vines in the frame. And some sedge grass. What was that? Okay, make that 3 lines. Some Bermuda grass. Was that wheatgrass? Oh, that was wheatgrass. Look at that. I just pulled up a piece of wheatgrass. That's wheat. That's wheat. I'm going to transplant that. I don't want to lose that. I'm going to grow some wheat. Alright, so that's a vine that we don't want. But this one here, this one's a hardy kiwi. We want that one. Alright. So I want to say the wheatgrass. I already pulled it up. Oh well. That's not breakfast. I guess I could eat the wheatgrass for breakfast, but I'm not going to. Okay, so we move past the pecan tree. There's another blueberry, some more turmeric, some more canna lilies, more strawberries. Not quite ripe yet, that strawberry there. Canna lily, another tomato, hazelnut tree, more canna lily, more tomato, more onions, more daylilies, more blueberries, more strawberries, more tomatoes, more canna lilies, more hazelnuts, more blueberries, more canna lilies, more strawberries. Behind there, more onions, more daylilies. Pear tree. And Italian irises, yarrows, and valerian, and all kinds of fun stuff. I put an elephant over there too, and some daffodils. But yeah, that's not breakfast. Well, I was planting the canna lilies and the violets. I had a few odds and ends. I mean, literally just a tiny little piece of root of the canna lilies, and some little bits of root for the violets. And I put them in this pot here, going, well, you know, maybe if they'll root, they'll grow into something, and that'll be good. But look at that. They all rooted. Everything rooted. So I've got at least three canna lilies and about a score of violets down in there. Just about every single one of those violet leaves coming out of there has its own individual root system. It's not a clump. It's like one plant. So we have got about 20 plants in there. This is probably your last opportunity to see those lovely sage flowers. They're actually on their way out. The sage is about done, and it needed to be pruned back a little bit there anyway. But I've got more sage coming, but the flowering part of the year is about over. And there we've got the shadow of the gardener and the shadow of the phone. This is bee balm, Monarda. Contains thyme, good medicinal, lots of flowers. The pollinators love it. That's a little sage in the background. We've got sage and bee balm. As the sage finishes off, the bee balm takes over. That's the idea. So we always have something blooming over here. But that's not breakfast. Okay, here we go. Daylilies. This one here is a Stella d'Oro. It's starting to put on the pods. They're a little bit small. I like to pick them when they're about the length of my finger, my little finger. So when they're the length of my little finger, I'll start picking those off, eat them just like a green bean. Fry them up with a little bit of bacon and a skillet, a little bit of seasoning salt, they're good to go. But whenever you've got them and the flowers open like this, well now folks, that's breakfast right there. So the earliest openers that I have are these peach colored. They are technically a Stella d'Oro cultivar of the daylily, but these ones came out peach colored. Usually your Stella d'Oros are yellow. And those are peach colored. That's breakfast right there. So far I got strawberry, I got some onions, and I got some flowers here. Hang on. There's the Stella d'Oros. So these peach subcultivar, they came out like a day or two before. Yesterday I had 2, today I got 2. These ones weren't open yet, but now they are. So these are just like barely ahead of the yellow Stella d'Oros. So that's breakfast. And that's breakfast. And now that my daylily flowers are coming on, we'll start getting about a quarter pound of blooms a day here within another week or so, and that'll keep on going for another month. And that's actually a considerable amount of food if you're adding everything else to it. Going to be eating lots of fresh greens, and yeah, this is a salad green. It's a colorful salad green, but these taste just like a butter crunch lettuce. They're delicious. That's breakfast, guys. Yeah. You see, daily. All these are the classic orange Himmericallis fulva daylilies. They'll get about 3 foot tall. They'll put up a whole bunch of flowers whenever they start flowering. Incidentally, the orange daylilies are the ones that take the longest to start producing blooms, but they will produce the most food of any of them. So these are nice and they're pretty and everything. They're nice and decorative, and yeah, you can eat them. But your big producers, the ones that make the most food for you, are those orange daylilies that won't be blooming for a while yet. I just planted those yesterday. We got our wild yarrow in the far back there, and I've got some of the cultivated stuff. I think it's the cinnamon, the red flowering yarrow. You want to see it? I'll show you some flower right now, right back there. Next to that, of course, we got a new sage plant planted. It's doing good. A couple more onions in front of that. And there's a goji berry bush that I put right over there that I got from a cutting. All right, and all along the front line there, I planted peppermint. We've got like 9 peppermint plants there. And that one looks like a rosemary, but actually that's a lavender. Using the idea that we plant the lavender alongside the walkways, you brush up against it, and it prevents the mosquitoes from seeing you. It's a pretty good deal. But that's not breakfast. No, that's breakfast. That's not breakfast. Oof, it's big. It's so big you can't take it all in one view. It's, yeah, it's as tall as I am now. I planted this, geez, when did I plant this? Last year. I guess it does grow pretty quick. This is an alder tree. Nitrogen fixer. That's right. Nitrogen fixing tree. It also is one of those unique ones that has mycorrhizal associations with both ectomycorrhizal fungi and arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi, so it can actually bridge the gap between your fruits and nuts, basically. Good biomass producer. There's a bunch of mushrooms that like growing on the wood. Semi-hardwood, makes good charcoal. All around good tree. If you don't have one of these in your forest, then you need one of these in your forest. At least one, guys. Just get at least one. That's all I'm saying. Alder tree. But that's not breakfast. Not quite ripe. We'll leave it for tomorrow. Leave that one for tomorrow. Oh, that one's good. I'll take this one. And pull the weed. That's breakfast too. Alright, so that one right there, that's mouse ears. Hosta, blue mouse ears, and so it has a really bluish green foliage. Hostas are edible. The shoots, when they first come up, are very edible. As a matter of fact, that one right there, something that's already been trying to eat it. I need to do some more work training my birds, get those slugs, get those snails. That one's called a June hosta. Very pretty colors. Got a kind of a yellowish interior and dark green outer leaves, variegated. And that one over there, is that one in frame? That one in the back there. So that one in the back right there. That one that my finger's pointing at, that one's a filigree hosta. And those leaves, they can go from that light shade of green, well I guess it's probably medium dark, shade of green to almost pure white, depending upon how much sunlight they're getting. So you can have a fully shaded area that can grow in the full shade, and have these beautiful white leaves. Cool stuff. Also, all edible. But not breakfast today. We can have that for breakfast one of these other days. Alright, and then we got more strawberries up here. Let me see if I can find any I can eat for breakfast. How you looking? Oh, that's wheat. Yeah, you're a little bit light, but I think you're close enough. That looks like breakfast. Yeah, ants have already started to find this one, so apparently if they think it's sweet enough to eat, then it's good enough for me to eat. Tomorrow, that's all tomorrow's breakfast. That's tomorrow's breakfast. This one here, I think I'll eat this one today. Alright. So there we go. Got a handful of strawberries. We got some daylily flowers. We got a little bit of onions to give us a little bit of spice. Let me see that. Onions for spice. Maybe I should have saved that wheatgrass. So far, so good. We got some breakfast. And I like to add in a little bit of wild things here too. So this one's a Chenopodium lamb's quarter. The leaves are fairly high in oxalic acid, so you want to go easy on it. Don't take too much. But if you're looking for something that give you the nutrient density of spinach, it grows wild. Lamb's quarter is good for that. That's breakfast. Just wanted to give you a real quick view of those ornamental yarrow flowers I talked about earlier. There they are. They still work as yarrow. They'll still stop your bleeding. They'll still reduce your fever. They'll still thin your blood out. They'll still relieve your pain if you take them as a tea. They'll still probably help aid with the rooting of other plants, like a rooting hormone, just like willow wood. Those are nice. Got them in all colors. Got the reds there. Got some yellows there. All the way in the back there, you see them? They got a little pink over there. The wild ones I just planted, they'll come up white. Oh, there's another little medicinal right there. That's a little aloe plant. But that's not breakfast. So let me see. Black oil sunflower got planted right there. These are another type of bee balm, different variety than the one I have over there by my sage. Won't be ready to eat for a couple years. That little bushy thing is Elaeagnus multiflora, a gummy fruit. It's only in its second year. It's growing pretty good, but it's not ready to produce fruit yet. So breakfast one day, but not today. And then looking out here, we've got, see those white flowers, little blue flowers. I've got an entire row of these running across the front. And, oh, hello. I'm going to just drop my flowers on the ground, and then I won't have my breakfast. Oh, I got dirt on it. Darn it, poo. All right. So this here is, of course, bellflower. It's called Rapido white bellflower, and this one is a creeping bellflower called blue water bellflower. And they're pretty flowers, but they also have another advantage. They are, yes, you guessed it, they are also edible. So, yeah, that's breakfast. The flowers are edible, and the leaves are also edible. I'm not going to take too many because they're still trying to grow, but I'll pick a couple here and there. And I don't want to take those flowers. It's the only one I have open right now, so I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it out there to be a pretty flower. Whenever these get bigger, they'll produce a lot of edible leaves. Nice. Ooh, the leaves are slightly sweet too. That's nice. Here's my little oak tree, and over here, that's a little patch of, these are wood violets or wild violets growing over here. I do need to dig some of these up and spread them around and get them propagated, but these are looking a little bit old and tough. Let me see if I can find some younger leaves down here that I can get at. Of course, whenever they're younger, they're a little bit more tender. But remember, I was saying that the leaves of the violets are inedible. You can eat them. Nice salad green right there. Decent flavor. Not quite as coarse and tough as kale. Definitely a little bit of a green taste to it. So if you're looking for something that can give you a little vitamin boost without being too overpowering, violet leaves, preferably young ones. These are on the border of being too old. We'll throw a couple of those in there. Yep. And I guess as long as we're talking about greens, I really do need to get these guys planted. But these are, of course, sweet potatoes. And sweet potato leaves are, yes, edible as a salad green. So I'm going to take a couple. There we go. That's breakfast. Of course, it's heavily overgrown as it is back here. You can tell I need to remulch and do some weeding in this area, but there's a bunch of tomatoes that are coming up. And interspersed with those, we've got some pepper plants, and we've got some of this other plant, sweet basil, which is not ready to pick yet, so it can't be breakfast today. But, ooh, oh, wait. There's one. It's getting ready to flower. All right. You see it? Is it there? Is it there? Keep it there. Yeah, there we go. So flowers are getting ready to emerge right here. These are going to be blue flowers. Ooh, parasitic fly. Ah, yay, do your job, do your job. Go kill bugs. I like you. All right, so this is a borage plant. There's a whole bunch of them here. Ooh, feel a few baby grasshoppers starting to appear. And I have to tell Bert to get him on the job. All right, so this is borage, and I like to pick the leaves while they're still pretty young and soft. These are about as big as I want to pick them, and that should be enough. These have the taste of cucumbers, but they're actually a leaf, like a salad green. And of course, the flowers help attract pollinators, and they also help distract pests, so they're good to plant alongside your tomatoes. Anyway, salad green. Tastes like a cucumber. That's breakfast. Well, alright guys. Hey, it's actually getting warm enough now. I think I can take off the jacket. Enjoy that again. Temperatures climbing all the way up into the mid-60s. And yes, I'm wearing something I got at the YouTube meetup. I'm going to get ready to use something here that I picked up at the YouTube meetup. That's the Hood's Custom Shop cutting board. I'm going to move some stuff out of the way. So, previously in the video, you saw me wandering around getting some stuff for breakfast. I've got some stuff here that I did not pick. Some of the items in here, actually, I am in the process of being able to replace and grow myself. Let's go ahead and start with the basics here. We've got our bowl, and I've taken the liberty of taking some pre-cooked and washed black beans and put them down in here. I am growing black beans out there in the garden. I'm also growing some anasazi beans, so I have plenty of these. It's just a little extra protein early in the morning. That's all it is. I'm going to put my fork right there for the moment. All right, let me empty this out. We've got the flowers and leaves of the bellflower. That's the creeping bellflower, and I've got a few of the ones from the white bellflower. I'm just going to put the leaves in there all the way, just the way they are. Nice, tender, delicate, not a strong flavor at all. Very nice. The flowers are pretty. All right, we're letting those grow out. Now this is one of our daylily flowers. We're just going to pull the petals off just like this, just like that, just like that, like that, like that, and like that, and just take those and break them up. There we go. You can eat that part too. Watch out for ants. They like them, so they'll get up in there. All right, next we're going to take some of those borage leaves. I'm just going to use a sharp kitchen knife to cut them up into bite-sized pieces. There we go. What'd you say? You want a little bit of onion? What's a salad without a little bit of onion flavor? Well, I agree with you, so we're going to take that onion. Egyptian walking onion, perennial onion, folks. Get these, plant them about a foot apart, and then they will grow and produce more onions for you. Or if you want to, you can harvest the entire onion, bulb and all, whenever you have more than you will ever need. And at that point, you will never need to buy onions again. I'll save that for later. Alright, let's take one of these yellow Stella d'Oro. Let's break that up. There we go. Salad greens. Okay. What do you think? Yeah, strawberry? Sounds good. Here's your vitamin C. So tomatoes aren't ready yet, but we do have strawberries. That's our vitamin C, early spring vitamin C. Strawberries, folks. All right, now what do we got here? Ooh, I have a couple of little tender young poke leaves. I didn't get that on camera, did I? I showed you that poke plant that I trimmed back for fertilizer earlier, so we could get it to start making more young tender leaves. When they're very, very young, very, very tender, you can get away with putting them in salad. Just don't eat a lot at one time. There's just a couple here. So there we have sweet potato leaves. Those chopped up. There's some more greens for the salad. All right, more greens. Of course, we got a whole bunch of these here. These are our lamb's quarter. They have a bit stronger flavor. They're a bit stronger than spinach, but they are loaded with nutrients, but they're also high in oxalic acid, so don't overdo either your spinach or your lamb's quarters. All right. What do you say? More onion? Let's go with more onion. I want more onion. There's more onions. Load that up on the edge of my blade and drop it right on in there. We got onions in our salad. More onions. I think we need a little bit more color. There's some more these daylily leaves. Just like a butter crunch lettuce, only they're bright and colorful and actually sweet. We'll get a few more. There we go. There we go. Aw, I'm going to eat him around the spot. Juicy strawberries. What? You said you can do it in points? Okay, let's do it in points. Alright, so far so good. Alright, now what I have here is Greek oregano. And eventually I'll have this growing on the south side of the house, Zone 7A, south side of the house for southern exposure to keep them alive. We've tried them in other places and they don't really last more than a couple of winters, because here in Oklahoma we get hit really hard with a very cold winter periodically every few years. And it's just on the border where the summer's fine for it. We have enough heat days and everything else, but that cold weather just knocks them out. So south side of the house, we'll put those up there. Take that leaf. Oh man, fresh oregano, there's nothing like it. But I'm just going to put a little bit of it in here, because I'm saving the rest of these, because I have to cut, or I have to take cuttings out of this right here. See, they're all ready to start cuttings from. We'll be taking cuttings and getting more plants started. Eventually, some of them will find their way out to you guys. Alright, so we got a bunch of stuff here. Now we're going to use some pre-dried oregano leaves for the moment. And then eventually I will replace that with our own supply of oregano. Just put a little bit of that oregano in there. That's good. Alright, so I've got, these are sesame seeds. I don't have sesame seeds growing right now, but eventually we'll have some sesame seeds growing. Let's sprinkle a few sesame seeds on there. Oh, that's probably plenty. A few sesame seeds. And as I pointed out before, we do have some of these growing. These are sunflower seeds. Of course, these are the big mammoth sunflower seeds. The ones I've got growing are the black oil sunflower seeds, which have slightly smaller nuts. They're still good. The birds can eat them, so can I. Alright, you saw our Szechuan and Sancho pepper trees out front. Of course, we can always take the peppercorns whenever they grow and grind them up. I got my grinder turned upside down. And grind them up, and it's not quite exactly the same as black pepper. If you skin the fruit part off the outside, the interior seed is a little bit more like black pepper. Usually I would be picking the leaves off of the Sancho pepper tree and using those as a pepper substitute, black pepper substitute. But seeing as we can get black pepper fairly easy right now, I'm just going to put a little sprinkle on there. Alright. That leaves us with the one seasoning that I don't have that I can regularly replace with what I'm growing in my garden. That's a little bit of seasoning salt. Oh, ooh, that's plenty. Put a little bit of that on there. Alright, so I've got a wine vinegar and olive oil. And in the future, whenever the hazelnut trees are producing the nuts for me that I need, we'll be pressing the smaller ones for oil. Interestingly enough, the healthy part of olive oil is oleic acid. That's what makes it so good. Hazelnuts have even more oleic acid than olives do. So there's actually a superior oil for either cooking with, as long as you're not going to go high temperature cooking, or making your salad. And then we've got a white wine vinegar here, but in the future we will be using our redbud wine vinegar, which is making right now. If you've been watching the videos, you know I'm making that stuff. So there we go, folks. I've got a bowl full of stuff that I just picked out of my garden, and I'm going to roll it around in that oil and vinegar. That oregano. Ooh, little tiny bellflower popping up there. I wish I could have put the white ones in. That would have been nice. Throw a little bit of those onion flowers in there. There we go. Get another good toss or two. I want you to be able to see everything that's in. Okay, that's good. Now you can see everything. Wouldn't mind some cheese. But there we go, folks. Alright. Thumbnail right there, thumbnail. I sure hope you found this video informative or entertaining. Maybe a little bit of both. And if you did, well, you know what to do. I'll catch you next time. Excuse me. I gotta eat.